Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley, and I am a dietetic intern, and I wanted to welcome you to the Blood Pressure Self-Monitoring Program Nutrition Seminar. Today's topic is going to be Heart Healthy Eating for Life. So we've gone through the 3 other seminars, and this is kind of just putting it all together, as well as getting some more information. So today we're going to talk about nutrition and blood pressure facts. We're going to go over some fats and oils, some healthy vitamins and minerals, healthy snacks, and then what we can do when we dine out in order to stay heart healthy. So our food choices do impact our blood pressure. We need to consider nutrition as a part of a healthy lifestyle that keeps our blood pressure well managed. So eating for a healthy heart is a key factor in the fight to prevent cardiovascular disease. Eating a variety of fruits and vegetables can help manage weight, cholesterol, as well as blood pressure. So a healthy dietary pattern emphasizes fruits and vegetables, whole grains, low-fat dairy products, skinless poultry and fish, those leaner meats, nuts and legumes, and some of those non-tropical vegetable oils like olive oil. So limiting salt or sodium, saturated fat, trans fat, and sweets in your diet can also lower your blood pressure. A healthy eating pattern can be adapted based on your cultural and food preferences, as well as for medical conditions such as diabetes. So taking steps to eat a healthy diet can provide long-term benefits to your health and your heart. It's recommended that you eat a variety of foods from all the food groups. And also you can look for the American Heart Association check mark to see if the foods that you are eating meet the American Heart Association's criteria for saturated fat, trans fat, sodium, cholesterol, and other important nutrients. So this is kind of just a breakdown of what the DASH diet recommends, which is the dietary approaches to stopping hypertension. So we need to think about a lifestyle that promotes a healthy heart and includes a variety of foods. So this slide kind of breaks down a day of recommended servings. And it's important to aim for the recommended servings to ensure that your body is consuming all of the minerals and vitamins it needs to be heart healthy. So looking at these recommendations, we do recommend grains, and at least half of your grain servings should be whole grains. And then you can see there's 2 columns. So based on how many calories you're eating, that's going to give you the amount of servings. So for a 1,600 calorie diet, it's recommended that you have 6 servings per day of grains. Or for a 2,000 calorie diet, 6 to 8 servings per day. And some examples of those servings could be a slice of whole grain bread, 1 ounce of dry cereal, but just check the nutrition label and make sure that it's a lower sugar cereal and it has some whole grains in it. Or a serving could look like something like a half a cup of cooked rice, pasta, or like that hot cereal, like oatmeal or something. So for vegetables, we recommend to eat a variety of colors. Eating the rainbow is something that we recommend to try to get all your vitamins and minerals from your vegetables. So for a 1,600 calorie diet, 3 to 4 servings per day, and for a 2,000 calorie diet, 4 to 5 servings per day. And some examples could include 1 cup of raw leafy vegetables, like a salad, or like kale, spinach, half a cup of cut up raw or cooked vegetables, or half a cup of vegetable juice. Just keep in mind with the vegetable juice, try to find a low sodium version. So for dairy, we do recommend fat-free or low-fat dairy products. For a 1,600 calorie diet, recommend 2 to 3 servings per day. Or for a 2,000 calorie diet, same thing, 2 to 3 servings per day. So a serving of dairy could look like a cup of fat for your low-fat milk, a cup of fat for your low-fat yogurt, or 1.5 ounces of fat for your low-fat cheese. So then for lean meats or poultry and fish, for a 1,600 calorie diet, we recommend 3 to 6 ounces of cooked meat per day. Or for a 2,000 calorie diet, we recommend less than 6 ounces per day. So one serving of meat is usually about 3 ounces, which is about the size of a computer mouse, or if you make a fist, it's about the size of your fist. So any cooked meat that's about 3 ounces is one serving. Or 3 ounces of grilled fish when you're thinking about like the fillets of fish. That's about the size of a checkbook. Then for fats and oils, based on your calories, it would be 2 to 3 servings per day. And an example of a serving of that would be, we don't really recommend margarine anymore, but a teaspoon of something like butter, or a tablespoon of mayonnaise, or a teaspoon of vegetable oil, or a tablespoon of regular, or 2 tablespoons of low-fat salad dressing. And then for nuts, seeds, and legumes, for a 1,600 calorie diet, we recommend 3 to 4 servings per week. And for a 2,000 calorie diet, 4 to 5 servings per week. So that can include something like a third of a cup or 1.5 ounces of nuts, things like almonds, cashews. Definitely walnuts are a really good nut in terms of heart health. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, or really any kind of nut butter like almond butter. Or you could do seed butter as well, like sunflower seed butter. Or 2 tablespoons or 1/2 ounce of seeds, like those sunflower seeds, or like flaxseed, something like that. Or 1/2 cup of dried beans or peas. So those are the beans and peas that come in the bag instead of the can, and they do require some cooking. So then sweets and added sugars. If you're doing a 1,600 calorie diet, we don't really recommend any servings of those, but a 2,000 calorie diet, less than 5 servings per week. So that can include like a tablespoon of sugar that you might put in your coffee in the morning, a tablespoon of jelly or jam, 1/2 cup of sorbet, or like Italian ice, or a cup of lemonade. Okay, so talking about sodium. So as we know, most Americans do eat too much sodium, which increases the risk for high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. So most of the sodium that we're consuming too much of, about 75%, comes from those processed and restaurant foods. So it's really important to read nutrition labels. So one of the ways that we can kind of reduce our sodium intake is eating more servings of fruits and vegetables each day. A diet rich in fresh and frozen fruits and vegetables can help lower blood pressure. We can also eat out less and cook more at home. One restaurant meal can add up to more than 1 day's worth of sodium, as well as calories. But restaurants are doing a really good job of kind of putting their own nutrition label on the menus. And there are some restaurants that are kind of taking the initiative and kind of reducing the sodium in their foods and kind of giving customers more like calorie and low fat friendly options on their menus. So it's just important to kind of look at the menu if you do go out and see what your options are and try to pick something that's a little healthier. We can also limit salty foods. So common foods high in sodium includes bread and dinner rolls, cured and processed meats, pizza, those canned soups, sandwiches, mainly because of the deli meat that's in them, but there is also, as I mentioned, sodium in bread, high sodium cheeses, pasta dishes, and certain snacks. Okay, so fats and oils. Do we need fats and why? So yes, we do need fats. Dietary fats are essential in our diet. They give your body energy and support cell growth. They also protect your organs. They kind of give your organs a little bit of cushion and also help keep your body warm. Fats also help your body absorb nutrients and produce important hormones. So one example is vitamin D. That's a fat-soluble vitamin. So eating foods that have vitamin D are going to be better absorbed if they're eaten with some type of fat source. So there are 4 major types of fat. We have saturated fat, trans fat, monounsaturated fat, and polyunsaturated fat, and or omega-3s. So the monounsaturated and the polyunsaturated fats are your heart-healthy fats. But I'm just going to kind of go over all of these fats just to kind of give you a little information about all of them. So saturated fats and trans fats raise your LDL cholesterol. So that's kind of like your bad cholesterol. That's kind of how that's referenced. That's the cholesterol that you don't want to be high. So these types of fats are also solid at room temperature. So some examples are like your margarine, your butter, and your saturated fats that are in meats like steak. So monounsaturated fats and polyunsaturated fats help lower your LDL cholesterol, that bad cholesterol, which is more beneficial to your heart health. These fats are liquid at room temperature. So those are going to be like your oils, and kind of like when you buy like that natural peanut butter, that oil that kind of settles at the top, that's going to be your unsaturated fats. So research has shown that omega-3 fatty acids decrease the risk for arrhythmias, which are abnormal heartbeats. They also decrease your triglyceride levels and slow the growth rate of atherosclerotic plaque, which is kind of that stuff that builds up in your arteries and makes it harder for your blood to pump through. And omega-3 fatty acids can also slightly lower blood pressure. Okay, so here are some examples. I know I mentioned a few already. But just looking at this slide, we can tell that there are many sources of fat. So your diet can include a variety of foods to meet your dietary needs. So saturated fat, if we look at the red arrows on the left, we do want to reduce our intake of saturated fat. So some examples of that are like fatty beef, lamb, pork, poultry with the skin, because the fat underneath the skin is saturated. Beef fat, lard and cream, butter, cheese is technically a saturated fat, and other dairy products made from whole milk. Palm oil and coconut oil is technically a saturated fat because it's solid at room temperature. And then we also really, really want to decrease our trans fats. There are a lot of companies that have just taken trans fats out of their products, because I do believe that there was some kind of mandate or something that required trans fats to be removed because they're so unhealthy for us. So those, when you're looking at the nutrition label, those are the partially hydrogenated oils that are present in those processed foods, such as donuts, baked goods, including cakes, pie crust biscuits, frozen pizzas, pre-made cookies, crackers, and margarine, and some other like butter-like spreads. So then monounsaturated fats, we really want to increase our intake of those. So that includes all of your oils. So like your olive oil, your canola oil, peanut oil, safflower oil, sesame oil, and avocados are a monounsaturated fat. And avocados are so healthy for you. Some companies also make avocado oil. So that can be a good way to get some avocados into your diet. Polyunsaturated fats, we definitely want to increase those. Those are also in oils, such as soybean oil, corn, and sunflower oil. And they're also present in fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, herring, and trout. And then definitely increasing our omega-3 intake. Omega-3s are present in nuts, seeds, also in those fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, herring, lake trout, sardines, and albacore tuna. All right. So vitamins and minerals. There are several vitamins and minerals that are critical to heart health. Studies show that diets rich in vitamin E produces a reduction of more than 40% in the risk of having a stroke, heart attack, or developing heart disease. So vitamin E is found in nuts, seeds, and some of those cooking oils that I mentioned, like olive oil, soybean oil, avocado oil, really any kind of cooking oil. The Cleveland Clinic reports that vitamin D helps treat diabetes and cancer, and also helps build strong bones and can help prevent heart disease. So you can get vitamin D from sunlight, milk, fortified juices, and fortified cereals. So there are some orange juices on the market that are fortified with calcium and vitamin D. And then I think most cereals are fortified with vitamin D. Vitamin D is one of the ones that a lot of people are deficient in because we don't really go out in the sun as much. We put sunscreen on, so that kind of blocks some of the absorption of vitamin D from the sun. And then as you can see, it's really not in that many foods. So it's really important to kind of make sure you're drinking milk and consuming some of those fortified foods if you're not really going out in the sun. So then we have potassium. One of the primary benefits of potassium is its ability to lower blood pressure, which can in turn help lower your risk of heart disease. One report in the 2011 issue of Current Hypertension Reports states that intakes of potassium in amounts of 4,700 milligrams per day can lower blood pressure and reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke by 8 to 15%. That 4,700 milligrams is also the amount of daily potassium that's recommended in the DASH diet. So sources of potassium include lean meats, fish, any citrus fruits or citrus juice like lemon juice, lime juice, orange juice. It's present in potatoes, lima beans, tomatoes, spinach, mushrooms, cantaloupe, fat-free or low-fat dairy products, and definitely bananas. So definitely there's really a lot of opportunity to try to get some potassium in our diet. Then we have magnesium, which is an essential mineral that has an effect on the heart. The National Institutes of Health reports that magnesium maintains blood pressure and proper heart rhythm by keeping your muscles functioning properly. So magnesium is present in nuts, beans, spinach, peanut butter, halibut, potatoes. Avocados are great sources of magnesium. It's also present in dark chocolate, raspberries, and also bananas. So why an emphasis on potassium? So potassium also reduces the effect of sodium. So the more potassium we eat, the more sodium that's excreted through our urine. It also helps relax blood vessel walls, which can also help reduce blood pressure. So remember, eating a variety of foods, including a lot of colorful fruits and veggies, can help your body consume all of its heart-healthy nutrients. So 4,700 milligrams of potassium is recommended per day, but most Americans struggle to meet this goal. On average, Americans consume about 2,640 milligrams per day. But one thing to mention, too much potassium as we get older is more difficult for kidneys to remove from our blood. So it's important to talk with your healthcare provider if you have any kidney problems, because they may recommend lower amounts of potassium to help protect your kidneys. So the recommendations from the American Heart Association is to eat a balanced, healthy diet and include a variety of foods from all food groups. This is kind of to help ensure that you're getting all the vitamins and minerals that your body needs. So try to consume the recommended amounts of omega-3s, which come in the form of EPA and DHA. So one way we can do this is try to aim for 2 servings of fish per week. Patients with heart disease should consume 1 gram per day of EPA and DHA. Patients with elevated triglycerides should try to consume 2 to 4 grams per day of EPA and DHA. It's if difficult to get that many grams, a supplement can be used, but always consult with your healthcare provider first. It's also not recommended that to take antioxidant vitamin supplements, such as vitamin A, vitamin C, or vitamin E. It's always better to try to get your vitamins and minerals from your diet first. And vitamin A and vitamin C and vitamin E are kind of easy to get in your diet. So vitamin A is going to be like in all your yellow and orange fruits and vegetables. So carrots, yellow and orange bell peppers, lemons, and all that stuff. It's quite easy to get vitamin A, and then vitamin C is in all of your citrus stuff. So even just drinking orange juice, you're going to get vitamin C. And vitamin C is also present in a lot of vegetables, like bell peppers, as well as your citrus fruits, as I mentioned, like lemons and limes and oranges. And then vitamin E that we talked about are present in all your cooking oils. So just if you're sauteing something on the stove in oil, you're going to get some of that vitamin E. So it's not recommended that you rely only on supplements to receive the recommended vitamin and mineral intakes. I am a huge component of getting all your nutrients from your food first. So just eating a variety of foods and having a balanced diet is going to really help get to that recommended daily level. But as I mentioned, if you don't think you can reach your vitamin and mineral goals through your diet, always check with your healthcare provider before starting any supplements on your own. Okay, so choosing heart-healthy snacks. These are some examples of healthy, nutrient-rich snacks. So if you're looking for something crunchy, you can go with apples and breadsticks, or carrot and celery sticks, maybe with some dip. Some green pepper sticks go really good with some ranch dip. Zucchini circles, radishes, just eating some raw broccoli, some raw cauliflower, or some unsalted rice cakes, like those Quaker, like those circle rice cakes. If you're really thirsty and you're looking for something to quench your thirst, water, fat-free milk, 100% juices, not the juice cocktails, because the 100% juices typically don't have any added sugar. It's all the sugar that are naturally present in the fruits and the juice, or low sodium tomato or mixed vegetable juice, like a low sodium V8 or something. If you're looking for something chewy, unsalted sunflower seeds, whole grain breads, cherry or grape tomatoes, those also go really well with some ranch dip or something. Low fat or fat-free cheese, some plain low fat or fat-free yogurt that you can also add things to, like walnuts or nuts or some dark chocolate, help get you some of that magnesium. Put some in your yogurt with a little bit of honey. Whole grain mini bagels, or unsalted nuts like almonds, walnuts, or any other nut. Then if you're looking for something sweet, you could do unsweetened canned fruit, or any of like the prepackaged fruit. Just make sure it comes in fruit juice and not the syrup, because that's going to add a lot of that like artificial added sugar. So try to look for like the canned or the little fruit cups that come in 100% juice. You can do a thin slice of angel food cake, bake some apples, some raisins, some dried fruit gelatin gems, some frozen bananas, frozen grapes, fresh fruit, unsweetened like flavored yogurt. Another really good idea that I saw was taking blueberries and kind of covering them in yogurt and then putting them in the freezer. And then you kind of have like this frozen yogurt fruit snack that you can just pop in your mouth. All right, so then when we're dining out, so it's important to understand what's on the menu and know what to look for. So foods that are served fried, au gratin, crispy, scalloped, pan-fried, blackened, sauteed, buttered, creamed, or stuffed are generally high in fat and calories. So some things to look for instead are steamed, broiled, baked, grilled, poached, or roasted. And that's going to help reduce some of those calories and fat. And if you're not sure based on the menu description how a meal is prepared or what ingredients it contains, you can always ask your server. So choose entrees that feature like steamed or grilled seafood, chicken, or lean meat, and avoid those fattier cuts of meat. If you do order meat, try to remove the visible fat that's still on the meat. And you can also ask the chef to remove the skin from the chicken to kind of cut down on that fat and some of the calories. You can also check the menu for items that are marked healthy, or ask the server what's the healthiest choice on the menu. There's a lot of the like the chain restaurants, like TGI Fridays and Olive Garden and stuff like that. They have, there's like a certain section on the menu that's all their like heart healthy and like lower calorie menu options. So some restaurants do a really good job kind of making those known on the menu. So just something to look out for. So other things we can do is avoid extras, like those sugary cocktails, appetizers, bread and butter, because those are going to be sources of extra fat, sodium, and calories. You can ask for butter, cream cheese, salad dressings, sauces, and gravies to be served on the side, so you can control the quantity of those products that you consume. Be selective at salad bars. So choose the fresh greens, the raw vegetables, the fresh fruits, the garbanzo beans, and the low-fat dressings. Try to avoid the cheeses and the marinated salads, and the pasta salads, and the fruit salads with whipped cream, because those are just going to add a lot more calories to your salad, unfortunately. Ask if the restaurant can prepare your food to order, for example, by leaving off or going very light on the dressings, the butter, the cheese, or other high-fat items like gravies. And then ask if healthier substitutions or smaller portions are possible. So for example, if a dish comes with French fries or onion rings, ask whether you can get a baked potato with vegetables, and low-fat sour cream or butter on the side. A lot of restaurants do allow you to pick your sides. So definitely like switching out those French fries or the fried things that come on the side, for more vegetables. Or even like a side salad or something is gonna help reduce some of the calories from the meal, and also help reduce some of the sodium as well. Okay, so now we have an activity, which is a little hard to do over Zoom, but we'll kind of just go through it. So this is just a slide. When looking at these food items and their serving sizes, see if you can guess how much sodium is going to be in that. So like one slice of bread, how much sodium do we think is actually in that slice of bread? Or like 4 ounces of a frozen pizza, a half a cup of frozen vegetables, salad dressing, salsa, a can of tomato soup, or a glass of tomato juice. Potato chips, tortilla chips, pretzels, those kind of like processed snacks. How much sodium do we think are in all of those things? All right, so definitely a lot of sodium in some of these. So a slice of bread can have anywhere from 95 to 210 milligrams of sodium just in one slice. So that's something to keep in mind if you're making a sandwich that has 2 slices of bread. Now we have to double that, and that's just the sodium from the bread, not to mention the deli meat and stuff that we put in the middle. So 4 ounces of a frozen plain cheese pizza can have anywhere from 450 to 1200 milligrams of sodium, which if it's on the higher side, that's about half of your sodium recommendation for the day. So that's something to keep in mind. Frozen vegetables, you definitely have to look at the label, because those can have anywhere from 2 to 160 milligrams of sodium, which is unfortunate because they should be fresh frozen vegetables and there should be no sodium. But some brands do add sodium to their frozen vegetables, so just look at the nutrition label. 2 tablespoons of salad dressing can have anywhere from 110 to 505 milligrams of sodium. So definitely looking at the nutrition label there. Same thing with salsa. I definitely recommend getting like the fresh salsa that's kind of in the produce section instead of the salsa that's in the aisle. That's going to cut down a lot on the sodium content. Tomato soup is one of the really high sodium soups. So 8 ounces of tomato soup is really like just a bowl of tomato soup can have anywhere of 700 to 1,260 milligrams of sodium just in that one bowl. So definitely look for the Hearthealthy version of the tomato soup. Same thing with tomato juice. A glass of tomato juice can have anywhere from 340 to over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. So definitely looking for like the no salt added or the low sodium version of those V8s in the tomato juices is going to be important. And then potato chips. So 1 ounce is around 7 to 10 full potato chips. So those can have 120 to 180 milligrams of sodium, just for just the added salt that's on the chip to make it taste good. Same thing with tortilla chips that are salted, 105 to 160 milligrams of sodium in about 7 to 10 full tortilla chips. And then pretzels, that's the snack where you can like actually see the amount of salt that's on your pretzel. So 1 ounce of pretzels is about a handful of like those mini pretzel twists. So those can have anywhere from 290 to 560 milligrams. So like if you think about it, I mean 7 to 10 chips is not a lot, especially if you're doing like tortilla chips and salsa. Most of us eat more than that. So it's kind of important to look at the portion size and keep in mind how much you're eating to kind of help reduce your sodium intake. So also keep in mind that when you buy prepared or packaged foods, you can read the nutrition label and kind of compare brands and see which brand or product has the lowest amount of sodium per serving. So you should always select the sodium-free, the low sodium, or reduced sodium foods if they're available. All right, so normally we would kind of go through and have a discussion about some of these topics, but we're over Zoom, so I'm just going to present some of these questions and kind of have you ponder them on your own time. So when we're thinking about snacking, what are some of your favorite snacks to eat? I know my go-to is usually chips. Unfortunately, so a lot of sodium in chips, so just something to think of. I also really like veggies and dip. It kind of gives you that same crunch as a chip, but it's definitely going to be lower sodium, lower fat, and a lot healthier. So discussing a few ways to keep our snacks a little more heart healthy. So are there whole grain versions of your favorite snack, like crackers or something? Can we replace the pre-packaged fruit cups with fresh fruit instead? Or can we replace the salty chips, as I mentioned, with something else to satisfy a craving for crunch, like carrots and ranch, or celery and ranch, or that raw broccoli and cauliflower with some dip, something like that. Or even nuts. I know nuts were in like the chewy category, but nuts definitely can give you some crunch, especially almonds or something. What are some of your favorite restaurants, places to eat outside of the home? How might we prepare to dine out at those restaurants? Is the menu available online? Can you look at the menu ahead of time and kind of choose a restaurant that has healthier options on their menu? Or what are some ways that we can modify an entree selection to be more heart healthy? Like we mentioned, instead of the French fries on the side, can we substitute some type of vegetable or a side salad? All right, and then as always, physical activity and blood pressure management. So we know that evidence has shown that regular physical activity can lead to a significant reduction in blood pressure and improves some of those other cardiovascular risks. Moderate physical activity has been proven to decrease blood pressure in those who already have high blood pressure, who have been less responsive to medical treatment, like blood pressure lowering medication. So just 30 minutes of physical activity a day that consists of something like a brisk walk, 6 to 7 days a week, can result in better management or a reduction in one's blood pressure. If you don't want to walk that fast and just taking like a stroll around the neighborhood when it's nice out, I would just increase the amount of time that you're doing it for. So something like 45 minutes at a pace that's like a stroll can still be beneficial and help reduce your blood pressure. And then this is just the slide that has all the references that we used to make these kind of exercise claims and how it lowers blood pressure. And then that is all I have for you. So just a reminder to self-monitor and track your blood pressure at home and attend the Heart Healthy ambassador hours. And then my email is also on the bottom of the slide in case you have any questions. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you have. So please feel free to email me. Even if you have questions other than blood pressure. Any questions about nutrition, please feel free to email me. All right. All righty. Thank you, everybody.